Robert Wack is a pediatrician, served on the Westminster City Council for 16 years, and is the former deputy health officer of the Carroll County Health Department. He writes a lot and has published a novel called Time Bomber, which is on sale in the lobby as you leave the building. I'm joking, guys. To learn what happens when a journalist, a priest, and Albert Einstein walk into a bar, please welcome Robert Wack.
Before we get started, I just want to point out that the H in my name is not only silent, but it's also invisible. Go ahead, you can start. So a journalist, a priest, and Albert Einstein walk into a bar. This is a story about reality and truth and the way forward in a world under attack from disinformation and AI slop. Our journalist is Walter Lippmann in his 1922 book, Public Opinion. It's considered a classic of modern journalism. He developed his ideas working in propaganda during World War I. One of his key ideas is that the real world is too big and complex for the limited human mind to fully comprehend. We only experience a very small portion of what goes on around us. We each live in a sensory bubble defined by the limits of our senses, memory, and cognition. The external world interacts with the surface of our bubble, creating our perceptions. These perceptions of external reality generate emotional responses and enter our awareness through the filter of the bubble. We then justify our emotional reactions after the fact with rationalizations. Some of the other speakers have talked about some of this stuff. We perceive before we think. This lines up with neuroscience and is how disinformation works, manipulating our emotions to influence our beliefs and control our decisions. Next up, our priest is Father Pierre Teilhard Desjardins, a Jesuit who worked as a paleontologist around the same time as Lippmann, back in the 1920s. He participated in some of the early discoveries of human ancestors, like Peking Man, an example of Homo erectus. He was a vocal and controversial Catholic advocate of evolution. The Vatican at the time did not support his work, but it continues influencing scientists and theologians today. His work, Reconciling Faith and Science, discusses three infinities of scale, duration, and complexity, all of which we explore and understand through the scientific method. From atoms to galaxies, milliseconds to eons, crystals to ecosystems, he believed evolution has a direction toward ultimate truth and union with God. His work attempts to unite faith and science, a long-time goal in the face of the despair the world is prone to. It addresses the why questions that science by itself cannot. Everyone knows this guy. Among his many achievements, he gave us the idea of space-time through his equations of relativity, leading to breakthroughs in astronomy, particle physics, and technologies like GPS. One consequence Einstein saw in his relativity equations was that gravity would cause all matter in the universe to collapse together, what is now called the Big Crunch. He didn't like this, so he created a fudge factor in his relativity equations called the cosmological constant, that circled variable there, a term in his equations that balanced out the collapsing force of gravity with the expansion of space itself. Less than 10 years later, Lemaitre and Hubble measured galaxies all around us accelerating away, rendering Einstein's fudge factor unnecessary, which is why he called it at that time my biggest blunder. Now, there's evidence from several sources in astronomy that Einstein was correct the first time, but the term may not be constant. Space may be expanding or shrinking or both. What does that mean? Is the universe stable? Will it end with a crunch, or will it expand forever into cold, dark emptiness? At the cutting edge of science, we are still learning. Lippmann shows us the human brain is a very blunt tool for exploring the infinities of nature. Taylard acknowledges that vastness, but using the scientific method, we can better understand the infinities and perhaps discern a purpose to our evolutionary journey. Einstein shows us that even with our crude brains, the only way forward is to keep measuring and revising with humility. Even finite minds can learn to grasp infinities, and the story's end isn't written yet.
Very interesting. I was a little concerned when I saw that Einstein made mistakes because I didn't think the guy did. So I was glad to see that you proved him right again.